Sitaram devotees, special welcome today as we're here to join once more in satsang as we would sing and chant and glorify the divine name of Bhagwan. We will go through the verses of Sri Hanuman Chalisa, understanding the powerful and valuable information that is contained within there, which we can apply into our lives to help us to uplift ourselves physically, mentally, and spiritually. At this point in time, we join as we chant beautiful bhajans, seeking that divine grace and blessings of Bhagwan into our lives. If you know the words and stuff, you can join and chant as well. सुख दुख दोनों रहते जिसमें जीवन है वो गा कभी धूप कभी छाँव कभी धूप तो कभी छाँव ऊपर वाला पासा पे के नीचे चलते गाँव कभी धूप कभी छाँव कभी धूप तो कभी छाँव
सुख दुख दोनों रहते जिसमें जीवन है वो का कभी धूप कभी छाँव कभी धूप तो कभी छाँव
भले भी दिन आते जगत में बुरे भी दिन आते
भली भी दिन आती जगत में बुरी भी दिन आती
करवे मीते पल कदम से यहाँ सभी पाते कभी सीधे कभी उल्टे पड़ते अजब समय के बाद कभी धूप कभी छाँव कभी धूप तो कभी छाँव सुख दुख दोनों रहते जिसमें जीवन है वो हाँ। कभी धूप
कभी छाँव कभी धूप तो कभी छाँव
क्या खुशियाँ क्या गम ये सब मिलते बारी बारी
क्या खुशियाँ क्या गम ये सब मिलती बारी बारी
मालिक की मर्जी पे चलती ये दुनिया सारी ज्ञान से के ना जग नदिया में बनने अपनी ना कभी धूप कभी छाँव कभी धूप तो कभी छाँव सुख दुख दोनों रहते जिसमें जीवन है वो गा कभी धूप कभी छाँव कभी धूप तो कभी छाँव ऊपर वाला पासा पे के नीचे चलते दाव कभी धूप कभी छाँव कभी धूप तो कभी छाँव कभी धूप कभी छाँव कभी धूप तो कभी छाँव तो कभी छाँव तो कभी छाँव
छूती छूती घेया छूती छूती गा छूती छूती घेया छूती छूती गा चोतो सुमीरो मरिर गोपाल चोतो सुमीरो मरिर गोपाल छूती छूती घेया छूती छूती गा
छूते छूते गैया छूते छूते ग्वाल
चोतो सुमीरो मरिर गोपाल
छोटो समीरो मदन गोपाल
चोतो सुमीरो मरिर गोपाल
छोटो समीरो मदन गोपाल
छूटी छूटी गैया छूटी छूटी गा छूटी छूटी गैया छूटी छूटी गा छोटो सो मेरो मरने गोपाल छोटो सो मेरो मरने गोपाल
छूटी छूटी गैया छूटी छूटी ग्वाल छूटी छूटी गैया छूटी छूटी ग्वाल छोटो सो मेरो मदन गोपाल छोटो सो मेरो मदन गोपाल
कारी कारी गैया गोरी गोरी ग्वाल कारी कारी गैया गोरी गोरी ग्वाल श्याम बदन मेरो मरने गोपाल श्याम बदन मेरो मरने गोपाल छूटी छूटी गैया छूटी छूटी ग्वाल छूटी छूटी गैया छूटी छूटी ग्वाल छोटो सो मेरो मरने गोपाल छोटो सो मेरो मरने गोपाल
छूटी गैया छूटी छूटी ग्वाल छूटी छूटी गैया छूटी छूटी ग्वाल छोटो सो मेरो मदन गोपाल छोटो सो मेरो मदन गोपाल
कैसे का भी गैया तूने भी बिगाड़ कैसे का भी गैया तूने भी बिगाड़ माखने का भी मेरो मरने गोपाल माखने का भी मेरो मरने गोपाल छूटी छूटी गैया छूटी छूटी गाल छूटी छूटी गैया छूटी छूटी गाल छोटो सो मेरो मरने गोपाल छोटो सो मेरो मरने गोपाल छोटी छोटी लकुटी छोटी छोटी हाथ छोटी छोटी लकुटी छोटी छोटी हाथ बंसी बनाओ मेरो मरने गोपाल बंसी बनाओ मेरो मरने गोपाल छोटी छोटी गैया छोटी छोटी गाल छोटी छोटी गैया छोटी छोटी गाल छोटो सो मेरो मरने गोपाल छोटो सो मेरो मरने गोपाल छोटी छोटी सखिया मधुबन बाल छोटी छोटी सखिया मधुबन बाल रास रचाओ मेरो मरने गोपाल रास रचाओ मेरो मरने गोपाल छोटी छोटी गैया छोटी छोटी गाल छोटी छोटी गैया छोटी छोटी गाल छोटो सो मेरो मरने गोपाल छोटो सो मेरो मरने गोपाल छोटो सो मेरो मरने गोपाल छोटो सो मेरो मरने गोपाल
At this point in time, devotees, we join in chanting the glories of Sri Hanuman Chalisa, after which we would enter into the wonderful verses, receiving that divine knowledge that is contained within there. So I ask you all to join me at this point in time as we will sing and chant and glorify that divine name of Bhagwan. In time to come, hopefully, I know not everybody would know all the words of the Hanuman Chalisa, so I think I'll try to arrange to get some copies done so we can have it in the mandir, so that when people come, you might as well learn the Hanuman Chalisa, right? Because we are learning to understand the meaning, we might as well know how to chant it, right? So we will get that done, we'll have that arranged so that the copies can be here, so that they can be passed out, so that everybody can have it to follow along when we are chanting, right? But for now, you all can join and you can chant with us. Shri Guru Charan Saroja Raja Nij Man Mukur Sudhar Barno Raghuvar Vimalayasha Jodayak Palchari Buddhiheen Tanu Janike Sumiro Pavan Kumar बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु क्लेश विकार मंगल भवन मंगलहारी द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजर बिहारी दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता
मंगल भवन मंगलहारी द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजर बिहारी दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता
मंगल भवन मंगलहारी द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजर बिहारी दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता
मंगल भवन मंगलहारी द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजर बिहारी दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता
जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीश तिहु लोक उजागर
राम दूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा
महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी
कंचन बरन विराज शीशा कानन कुंडल कुंजित केसा
हाथ भद्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे
शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन
विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर
प्रभु चरित्र सुनबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया मंगल भवन मंगलहारी द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजर बिहारी दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता
लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए
रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही समभाई
सहस्र बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे
सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीषा नारद शारद सहित ईसा
जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते
तुम उपकार सुग्रीवन कीना राम मिलाए राजबर दीना
तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर वै सब जग जाना
युग सहस्त्र योजन बल भानु वीर्यो ताहि मधुर बल जानो
प्रभु मुद्रिका मिलि मुख माहि जल दिलांग गए अचरज नाही
दुर्गम काज जगत के चेते सुरनम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते
राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे
सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरण तुम रक्षक काहू को धरना
आपन तेज समारो आपे तीनों लोक हाकते कापे
भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे मंगल भवन मंगलहारी प्रभु सुदशरथ अजर बिहारी दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता
नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा
संकट तीन हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे
सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा
और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे
चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा
सारु संत की तुम रखवारी असुर निकंदन राम दुलावे
अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता स्वर दीन जानकी माता
राम रसायन तुमरे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा
मंगल भवन
मंगलहारी द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजर बिहारी दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता
भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे।
अंत काल रघुवरपुर जाए, जहाँ जन्म हरि बात कहाए।
और देवता चित्तन रहे, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करे।
संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बल पीरा।
जय 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 हनुमान गुसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई।
जो सर बार पात कर कोई, छूत ही बंदी महासुख होई।
जो यहाँ पर हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा।
तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महाधेरा।
पवन तनय संकट हरना, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, प्रभु सुदशरथ अचर विहारी। दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता। मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, प्रभु सुदशरथ अचर विहारी। दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता।
बोलो सियापति रामचंद्र की जय। Devotees, last day we stopped at Ramaduta Atulita Bala Dhama. 5 words. But those 5 words, just the first 2 alone, Ramaduta, I told you all, contains so much meaning and value which you would have heard of, just a little bit of that glory. Of what it's like to be known as Ramaduta, servant of the Lord. That individual who is near and dear to Bhagwan. Atulita Bala Dhama, that individual, Hanumanji, that one who is the storehouse of immeasurable strength. So we move forward a little bit today. We go a little bit deeper. Anjani Putra Pavana Sutta Nama. Anjani Putra, the son of Anjani Devi, the mother of Hanumanji, her name was Anjani Devi. She was once a celestial being, a celestial dancer, as the case may be, and she fell from the heavenly regions, right? And she got that form of a monkey based on the Leela and all of these different things, right? She was wedded to Kesari, that earthly father of Hanumanji, right, who was also a very valiant warrior. We'll come to that a little bit later on when we reach to that part, speaking of Kesari and all of that. But here, you hear about Pavana Sutta, the son of Pavana, the son of Vayu Devata, the god of wind. Right? It is said that Hanumanji represents fire. He's born out of air and he represents fire. Mahavir, which is the next word we'll come to later on, represents fire itself. But being born from the wind, being the son of the wind, what does that represent and what does that symbolize? Before I tell you that, being the son of Anjani Devi, Hanumanji was given a name, and you would have heard us chanting this many times before. You'll know what it means now. Anjaneya. Not Anjaneya, but Anjaneya. That means the son of Anjani Devi. So that's what that means, right? So when you hear us chant, you know what it means. Being the son of Vayu Devata, Pavanaputra, it means that he would have born with the blessings and the power of the god of the wind, leading to him being able to fly and all of these things, making himself very light and all of that, right? When we reach later on, way down into the Hanuman Chalisa, when we talk about the Ashtasiddhi and Navanidhi, and then you'll hear about all these different powers that Hanumanji has. And he also has the ability to bestow them upon his devotees. That's the nice part about it, right? But in this world, sometimes when we get caught up with siddhis and things, we want to attain power, right? I was just having a conversation a little while ago. When people get power, right? They tend to stray from the righteous path when power comes. You acquire, whether it's mental power, the power of knowledge, physical power, strength, whatever the case may be, you get status, you get wealth, you get position. We tend to stray from the righteous path and we forget the sole purpose of trying to acquire the power in the first place. It's like all of these individuals who would have attained special vardhan, special boons and gifts and powers from the Lord, and on attaining these powers, immediately they will turn into Rakshas. They start to behave like Rakshas. They start to behave like demons. Now, this didn't only happen in the scriptures, but it also happened. It also happens, as a matter of fact, upon the face of the earth. Everybody's striving. Oh, I want to reach to great heights of success. When I reach there, I will take care of everyone. I will take care of the world. And I will do all these good things. What? Take care of the world and all these things. When we reach there, we forget about everybody. That time, it's me and me alone. But Baba, you never hear, I be a killer, Jaya be a killer. You come alone and you go alone. I had time to study nobody. When things was bad, things were bad, you were looking for everybody. Now that things are good, you have acquired the things that you want. Man, you're in charge. Right? Everybody have to respect you and everybody have to treat you a certain way. You have to be special and all these different things. We are all special. We are all special. So, being born as the son of Vayu, symbolically it represents something. Here, it means that Hanumanji represents the subtle bodies, right? Some of the subtle bodies that we have. That is the breath body. I'll break it down for you after, right? The mental body and the intelligence body. So Pavana Sutanama, being the son of the wind, he's representing these subtle bodies, right? The breath body, the mental body, and the intelligence body. What is the breath body? When I am chanting mantras, normally I include a couple mantras in there when we're making offerings and stuff. We have prana, apana, samana, udana, and vyana. They are the 5 vital airs, the 5 vital forms of air that is contained within us. That's what they represent, right? Can't get into that now, but maybe one day I will break those down and we'll go a little more in depth into it to be able to understand what each one of them represent. Each one of them is very essential for you to exist, for you to be alive and all of these different things, right? Most of them leave when you die immediately. Some of them take a little while after to exit the body and all of that, right? That's why I don't really want to get into that now. I don't want to get any of you frightened and all of these things, right? So, it's all a process. Nevertheless, this breath body is responsible for the movement of the life energy or the prana within your body. What is the one thing from birth until death that is with you, that remains with you from birth until death? What is that one thing? I give away the answer already. The answer is your breath. Right? It's your breath. It's the one thing that remains with you from birth until you exit the physical body. That's why the monks and all of them, they meditate a lot and they always focus on what? They focus on breathing. Meditation is about what? Meditation is not closing your eye and picturing all kind of fancy thing only. No. That's not meditation. It could be visualization. But meditation is the control of the breath. Trying to take yourself into that space where you can gain control of this breath. When you reach to that state, that's where we have people who are called as yogis and all of these different things. Right? They have been able to take themselves to very, very high levels. So, what is the purpose of the breath body? Hanumanji, symbolizing the breath body, he's the one that brings the unity between Ram and Sita. What does that mean? Within us, we have two principles that are present. We have Shiva and we have Shakti. We have the masculine aspect and we have the feminine aspect. You think about it, we have positive energy, we have negative energy. All of these different things. Everything is contained within us. The breath is what helps you to bring the balance of all the energies that are within you. For example, if you run for a very long period of time, what is going to happen to you? You get out of breath, not so? And when you get out of breath, how do you feel? You feel very imbalanced, not so? Right? Because the breath is not calm. I want everybody to think about that for a second. It's not calm. So you can't be calm. When you get angry, your breath changes with all your emotions and all of that. When you get angry, your breathing changes. Not so? When you get happy, well, it's very calm and it's very peaceful at that point in time, right? Based on how much excitement you have. Right? Some people get so excited, they get anxious, right? And they have more breathing problems, right? So our goal in this life is by awakening Hanumanji inside of us. If you awaken him in this form here, in the form of the breath or the breath body, you are asking for the unity and the balance of all the energies that are contained within your body, within your physical makeup. How do you do that? By taking time. I always mention this, by taking time to sit every day for a little bit of time and just close your eyes and just breathe. That's it. Just close your eyes and just breathe. You do that over and over and over. Eventually, you'll find a rhythm happening. Eventually, that breath will become more relaxed, more peaceful, more calm. Right? On the topic of the breath, it is scientifically proven. I looked at a show with Dr. Deepak Chopra and Dr. Oz, where Dr. Deepak Chopra was actually showing and proving to individuals how meditation can enhance and impact all areas of your life. Love and relationships, wealth, health, your job, career. Anything in this world can be impacted through meditation, through the control of the breath and your breathing. Right? How so? How so? Meditation is a process. When you sit, let me explain the scientific process. When you sit and you close your eyes and you start taking slow, deep breaths, what happens? What happens to your heart rate? Your heart rate starts to slow down. It starts to slow down. Becomes very calm, nice, soft rhythm. Very calm and nice and soft. Right? When that happens, your heart is able to function to its best. It's able to function to its best, right? Or fullest capacity, whatever you want to call it. When your heart is now able to perform at its best, what is the function of the heart? Don't get me caught up on all this, right? I know a little bit. I know too much about all this, right? The function of the heart, I believe, is to pump blood throughout your body, not so? Right? So, the thing about it is that when your heart, the beat calms down and relaxes, the heart is now able to pump blood efficiently and effectively throughout your entire body. One such area that blood goes to is your brain. Right? When it goes there, if more blood goes to your brain and all of these things, right, and it's flowing in a nice, calm, relaxed manner, it means that oxygenation is also increasing in your system, and also it is going to be increasing in your brain. When that oxygenation increases in your brain, through the process of meditation, it is proven scientifically. It is said that This helps, right? It helps to actually heal your brain cells. In some cases, regeneration of brain cells as well. It is said the one thing that they actually found that can do this is meditation. Stress kills your brain cells. You know that? It damages them, it destroys them. It can kill your brain cells, right? It is said that when you meditate, on the other hand, it helps to fix that problem, that issue, to solve that issue. So if your brain cells now are developing, right, regenerating, whatever the case may be, right, if they are developing, what is that going to do to you as a human being? You are now going to be able to function from a better space. You're going to be able to function at a higher level. You're going to automatically become more intelligent, not so. You'll be able to receive information better, to absorb information better. You'll be able to give off information, give out information, right? Regurgitate it better, right? You'll be able to function better as an individual. You'll think faster. You might actually think proper thoughts on all of these things. So if you as an individual, you start to function at a higher level, what is going to happen to all areas of your life? And all areas of your life automatically going to develop, not so? So this is how the process of meditation, the process of breathing leads to all aspects of your life becoming better. That's the funny thing, eh? You might say simple thing like breathing, boy. I just do that unconsciously without even thinking. I just breathe. And up to now, I still see in trouble. Because if I tell you all something funny enough, right? Most adults breathe incorrectly. Most adults breathe incorrectly. We breathe up and down. We breathe up and down. Right? When you breathe in, shoulder going up all in the sky and thing. Right? And then coming down. So the breath in your body, right, is going up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Right? And a lot of people don't know this. When you are a child, a little child, right? A small child. A little baby. When you lay a baby down and that baby is sleeping, what do you see happening while that baby is sleeping? And they are breathing. You see, if you look very carefully, the stomach of the child would be rising and going down like this. It'll be rising and going down, right? Now, that is because that baby is breathing diaphragmatically. And that is how we are supposed to breathe as adults. Most of the problems we have in our lives, health problems included, is because we can't breathe properly. You say, Baba, oh God, that is the solution to all my problems? Yes. It might sound like a very simple thing, you know. But people spend their entire lives and lifetime upon lifetimes trying to understand this and study it and practice it. The monks do this day in, day out, non-stop. Buddha, right, would have taught all of these different things. It came from our philosophy, right? Breathing, the breath. So when I say breathing diaphragmatically, obviously I have to explain the process so you understand what I mean. So we breathe up and down. We just inhale and we exhale, right? There are different styles of breathing, right? If you actually study in meditation, you study pranayama and all of these different things. There are different types of breathing that can be done for various benefits, right? But the average human being, how you're supposed to actually breathe is when you take a breath in, you breathe in, your stomach expands. And when you breathe out, your stomach contracts. And that's it. Now, it will be difficult for you to transition this if you're not accustomed. If you're not accustomed, right? If you try it now immediately, and you're not accustomed doing this, I'm sure it might seem very, very strange to you. Because you're accustomed doing this a certain way. But please, if you don't do this properly, I'm giving you very, very valuable information. This is not This is not a joke. This is serious business. Take this and go home and try it. Every day, how I was taught this, every day you take at least 5 or 10 breaths and do it the right way like this. And you make it a habit. You sit down, you breathe in. Focus on your stomach so that you'll feel your stomach expanding and filling with the air, right? And then when you breathe out, allow your stomach to contract and push the air back out. So what is happening is instead of the air moving up and down, it is now moving in a circular motion. And that is how it's supposed to move. It is supposed to move in a circular motion, not up and down, right? You got master class there on breathing, right? Bolo Siyapati Ramachandra ki jai. So Hanumanji representing the breath body brings unity between Ram and Sita, bringing unity between the Shiva and Shakti within you, all of these different energies, bringing balance, samatvam, right? That state of balance or equilibrium, equipoise within you. Now we have the mental body. In the context of a devotee, Hanumanji represents the mental body, right? This is made up of, the mental body is made up of the thought currents that float in our chitta, our consciousness, right? This is responsible for things like imagination, astral travel, and your dream experiences that you tend to have when you go to sleep. Each one of these by itself is an entire kata, right? So I'm sorry I can't go into all of that now. But I love to talk about these things, right? So later on we'll get into that, right? Nevertheless, most people are not aware that when you are asleep, there are different states of sleep that you can go into. And when you go into those different states, different things can happen to you. You can have the experience of astral travel and all of that while you're actually in a particular state of sleep without even realizing it. Sometimes you're in a state of sleep and you're having this dream, and this dream seems so real as can be. You wake up and you feel like this just happened to you. Like it literally just happened. And it's like, did this really just happen, or did I dream this? And you remember every single detail. The next time that happens to you, I want you to understand that it's not just a dream. I want you to understand that it is not just a dream, right? Now, this also ties into meditation, because when an individual meditates, they actually take themselves into specific sleep states or dream states, whatever you want to call it, while they are still awake, basically. So they are consciously doing it. When you go to sleep, it happens unconsciously or at the subconscious level, if you want to call it that. Because your subconscious takes over at certain times, right? You can consciously take control of this by practicing it, because practice makes habit. The more that you do it over and over and over and over, it becomes more natural to you. You want to understand your dreams, you want to understand why you dream certain things, you want to understand the experiences that happen to you while you're actually asleep. Take some time to start focusing on your breathing. And I guarantee you that over a period of time, if you do this consistently, things will start to change for you. With yourself, with your body, with your mind. In your life around you, in your environment, it will start to change. And you will wonder, things are just changing automatically. What is happening? Right? Then we have the intelligence body. And the intelligence body is made up of buddhi, or that discretionary intelligence, the ability to tell, okay, this is good, this is bad. You can separate things. You can analyze things. You can interpret things. That's where that transpires. The buddhi does this, right? Buddhi means the intellect, right? And this intelligence body being made up of that buddhi, right? The intellect, this is considered one of the highest tattvas or principles of nature. Our buddhi is said to be a direct reflection of divine intelligence, right? This is responsible for our decision making ability, our rational thinking, and our conscience. You go to do something, and as you're about to perform that action, you say, my conscience telling me not to do this. You see how all of these things ties into your life, ties into your everyday living? Right? The next time you're going through something, you can actually tie it into Hanuman Chalisa. You can tie it, you can connect it to Hanumanji, right? And understand, right? So your conscience, rational thinking, your ability to make decisions. The intelligence body. Devotees, when we talk about Hanumanji, if we talk about Lord Shiva, if we talk about Durga Devi or any form as the case may be, we can sit down and we can analyze and interpret, and we can find a way to interpret all of the principles that they represent and apply them in some way or another, in some form or fashion into our lives. Why? Because we are divinity expressed in itself. We are no different. The same Vanaras and all these different things that were in the Ramayana, where you think they are? Where you think they are? I was just having this conversation with a devotee. I always say this, but you don't find people with the same level of thinking to have this conversation with. Where do you think they are? Trillions of soul years. Where do you think they are? Go and take a look in the mirror. No, I'm not telling you you look like a monkey. Eh? That is not what I'm telling you. When you go back, I want you to take this into consideration now. This is where things get nice. Eh? It get interesting, right? When you think about, I think it's Charles Darwin. Not sure, right? Don't quote me on that, right? I think so. Said that we evolved from monkeys. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Right? That we evolved from monkeys. Where that theory come from? I feel he read Ramayana. I want a little to think about that for a second. Swami Swarupananda always says that. He says, people say we worship a monkey. Right? They say we worship monkey. What is wrong in worshiping our ancestors? Scientifically, if you evolved, what is wrong in worshiping your ancestors? Right? I want you to think about that for a second. People say all sorts of things because of the lack of understanding, because of ignorance, right? So, the theory scientifically is that we evolved from monkeys. In the Ramayana and Treta Yuga, we had Vanaras, we had monkeys and bears and all of these things. They take form again and come. Same Devatas and all of them taking form and coming again in Dwapar Yuga. With Bhagwan Shri Krishna and all the other forms that came at that point in time. Then in Kali Yuga, where did they go? They just disappeared into thin air? No. Right? Today I in a funeral that I did, I quoted Bhagavad Gita, and there's a verse that's stuck in my mind that clicks at this point in time. Where Bhagwan Shri Krishna tells to Arjuna, and he says to Arjuna, he says, there was never a time when neither you nor I nor all these individuals on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, they didn't exist. There was never a time when none of us didn't exist. Nor will there ever be a time when we cease to exist. What is this thing we talk about coming to an end and all sorts of things? We are going to die, right? Death is not from our philosophy, you know. Hindus, well, not, let's not say Hindus, let's say Sanatanists, right? I always have to clarify that, right? Sanatanists, right? Because Hinduism governs over various religions, right? It governs over various religions, not just one religion. We practice Sanatan Dharma. That's what we practice, right? That is our religion. Always remember that. So, devotees, we do not believe in death. We believe that this jiva, this divine spark which we are, we transition from one form into another. We give up this physical body, which becomes like worn out clothing, as quoted from Bhagavad Gita. It becomes like worn out clothing. When you have worn out clothing, what do? You take it and you throw it out and you get new ones. Bhagwan says, just like that, you will give up this physical body, you will transition and you will take another form. There is no end. You say, well, Baba, we here, well, the Atman is merged with the Paramatma. The Paramatma here and the Atma here is merged so and become one. And that's the end of everything there. What kind of Jai Shri Ram? You see, interpretation is so important as well, right? Because sometimes we interpret things, and when we interpret it, we misconcept the things that we interpret. Now, everybody can have their own perspective. That is fine. That's not a problem. But you can't stray too far from the reality of what that philosophy actually tells. Right? So, all those Vanas taking avatar and coming back again in Dwapar Yuga, coming back again in Kali Yuga. Where are all of them? Here, there, and everywhere. Where's Bhagwan? Where's God? Here, there, and everywhere. The answers are right there for you. The answers are right there for you. Just take a deeper look. The next time you look into the mirror, do not look at the physical body, but look into your eyes and try to look into your inner self. The indwella, that which is within. How do you see that? Not with the physical eyes. You see that with the eye of intuition, the third eye. This is not something that will open up and pop out of your head and thing, right? When people think about the third eye, they think it opens up like this. No. The third eye is the eye of intuition. The more you elevate yourself, the more open this becomes, the more wise you become. Right? And you are able to tap into things that other individuals, other beings may not be able to tap into. You are aware of things that others are not aware of. So, being the son of Vayuputra Hanumanji, as I said, he represents these three subtle bodies: the breath body, the mental body, and the intelligence body. So we have Anjani Putra Pavana Sutta Nama, son of Anjani, son of Pavana. The next line there, which we will not be going forward into because we don't have time to go into that. But the next word that is there, Mahavir, that in itself is an entire discourse. So guess what? To be continued. Bolo Siyapati Ramachandra ki Jai. So you know what you have to do? You have to tune in to next week's satsang to be able to receive that knowledge and that information as we continue this journey. At this point in time, devotees, we join in a beautiful bhajan, after which we will join in our arti this evening. Now, this one is a real old chant, so I'm sure that all of you, if you came from way back when, like Roshan, you'll be familiar with this chant. So be sure to join, sing with us, clap, let's chant and glorify the divine name of Bhagwan. Come let us chant the name of Rama and Krishna.
Come let us chant the name of Rama and Krishna.
Come let us chant the name of Rama and Krishna.
Come let us chant the name of Rama and Krishna.
Rama lives in my blood, Krishna in my veins.
Rama lives in my blood, Krishna in my veins.
Rama lives in my blood, Krishna in my veins.
Rama lives in my blood, Krishna in my veins.
Everywhere I look, I see Sita Raman Krishna.
Everywhere I look and see Sita Raman Krishna.
Everywhere I look, I see Sita Raman Krishna.
Everywhere I look and see Sita Raman Krishna.
the Chandanim of Rama and Krishna.
Come let the Chandanim of Rama and Krishna.
Come let the Chandanim of Rama and Krishna.
They are my father, my friends and my mother.
They are my father, my friends and my mother.
They are my father, my friends and my mother.
They are my father, my friends and my mother.
Everywhere I look I see Sita Raman Krishna.
Everywhere I look and see Sita Raman Krishna.
Everywhere I look I see Sita Raman Krishna.
Everywhere I look and see Sita Raman Krishna.
Come let the Chandanim of Rama and 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 Krishna.
I shall never live the life of Rama and Krishna.
I shall never live the life of Rama and Krishna.
I shall never live the life of Rama and Krishna.
I shall never live the life of Rama and Krishna.
Pleasing them in all my thoughts, words and actions.
Pleasing them in all my thoughts, words and actions.
Pleasing them in all my thoughts, words and actions.
Pleasing them with all my thoughts, words and actions.
Come let the Chandanim of Rama and Krishna.
Come let the Chandanim of Rama and Krishna.
गाते चलो मन हरे कृष्ण रामा.
गाते चलो मन हरि कृष्ण रामा.
हरे कृष्ण रामा सदा सुखधामा.
हरि कृष्ण रामा सदा सुखधामा.
हरे कृष्ण रामा सदा सुखधामा.
हरि कृष्ण रामा सदा सुखधामा.
गाते चलो मन हरे कृष्ण रामा.
गाते चलो मन हरि कृष्ण रामा.
तन मन में रामा नस नस में 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 रामा.
जहाँ देखे वहाँ सीता 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 रामा.
गाते चलो मन हरे कृष्ण रामा.
गाते चलो मन हरि कृष्ण रामा.
गाते चलो मन हरे कृष्ण रामा.
गाते चलो मन हरि कृष्ण रामा.
रघुपति राघव राजा रामा.
रघुपति राघव राजा रामा.
रघुपति राघव राजा रामा.
रघुपति राघव राजा रामा.
पतित पावन सीता रामा.
पतित पावन सीता रामा.
पतित पावन सीता रामा.
पतित पावन सीता रामा.
गाते चलो मन हरे कृष्ण रामा.
गाते चलो मन हरि कृष्ण रामा.
गाते चलो मन हरे कृष्ण रामा.
गाते चलो मन हरि कृष्ण रामा.
श्री राम जय जय 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 रामा.
जय राम 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 श्री राम जय जय रामा.
Come let the Chandanim of Rama and Krishna.
Come let the Chandanim of Rama and Krishna.
Come let the Chandanim of Rama and Krishna. Come let the Chandanim of Rama and Krishna.